Hello, I am Pramod Kumar and today we will do question answer of CBSE class 12 Vistas. Two chapters we will do, the Tiger King and the In Me, right? So we start with the Tiger King, questions and answers. First one is, the story is a satire on the conceit of those in power. How does the author employ the literary device of dramatic irony in the story? So, we can say that in this story, the writer shows that at the birth of the king, Tiger King, subsequently who is named as Tiger King, the astrologers make a prediction that one day the king will die. Everybody knows whosoever is born has to die one day. But when the child asked, 10 days old child, the Tiger King, everybody knows that whosoever is born has to die. You tell me what method will be there of my death. Then the astrologers tell him that you are born in the hour of the bull, and bull and tiger are enemies. So the Tiger King will meet death at the hands of the king, tiger, at the hands of a tiger. So the Tiger King says, tigers beware, means tiger should become cautious, careful. Then the Tiger King starts killing tigers. Astrologer has told him that even if you have killed 99 tigers, the 100th may cause problem. So the Tiger King goes hunting for 100 tigers. So what is happening? He has killed 99th, finds it very difficult to kill the 100th. But 100th is also killed, right? So now the king thinks, the Tiger King, that he is out of danger of his death at the hands of the tiger, right? He has killed 100 tigers as suggested by the astrologers. So now he thinks he is out of danger of his life from tiger. But on the third birthday of his son, he buys a present, wooden tiger, a toy, wooden tiger toy. And he is playing with his son. So that toy was not very finely finished. The outside was rough. So one of the rough portions pricked his right hand. And from the next day, his hand swelled. Then 3 doctors were called from Madras, a team of 3 doctors. So the pus had started forming in that wound. So what happened? Doctors carried out the operation, but they could not save the king, the Tiger King. So the irony is that astrologers told the Tiger King that he may meet death at the hand of a tiger since he was born in the hour of the bull. So the king kills 100 tigers. Despite that, the king meets his death through a wooden toy tiger. So this is the irony shown in this story. Second one is, what is the author's indirect comment on subjecting innocent animals to the willfulness of human beings? Just because astrologer tells him that even if you have killed 99 tigers, you may come across difficulties from the 100th one. So just by listening to this, the Tiger King, goes on a hunting spree and mercilessly, without using any mind of his own, he just goes for killing of tigers. And he just kills 100 tigers So it shows, and none of those tigers have caused any harm to the king, tiger king. They are harmless so far as the king's life is concerned. But even then, he has killed 100 tigers just because astrologer told him so. So, what is the author's indirect comment? So, subjecting innocent animals to the willfulness of human beings, willfulness. If I will to kill 100 tigers, I kill. The tiger king was willing to kill 100 tigers, of course, on the statement made by the astrologer, family astrologer, and he kills willingly 100 tigers, though none of those tigers have caused any risk of life to the king. So that is very cruel, very unjust, very unfair, very mindless. Third, how would you describe the behavior of the Maharaja's minions towards him? Do you find them truly sincere towards him, or are they driven by fear when they obey him? Do we find a similarity in today's political order? So there are three questions in this question. How would you describe the behavior of the Maharaja's minions towards him? So we can say that Maharaja's minions are servile assistants. Right? Servile assistants. One. Second thing, they are afraid of him. Afraid of the tiger king, because the tiger king is temperamental so far as his temperament is concerned, and they are sycophants. Means they would only like to please the king in whatever way, or in other words, they would not like to displease the tiger king in any way, right? So they are called sycophants. Will do anything to keep the tiger king happy, whether through something true or whether through something false, right? So minions are servile assistants, afraid of him, or you can say him oblique his temperament. Him means king, him his king, tiger king, and they are sycophants. Second is, do you find them truly sincere towards him, or are they driven by fear? So that is, they are not truly sincere, they are driven by fear. Driven by fear of the temperamental tiger king. He is temperamental. Do we find a similarity in today's political order? Yes. Yes. Today's political order is also full of servile followers, sycophants. Sycophants means one who will do anything to please his senior or master, right? So now we go to the fourth question. Can you relate instances of game hunting among the rich and the powerful in the present times that illustrate the carelessness means indifferent, of human beings towards wildlife? So here you will find, generally we don't find game hunting in today's environment, game hunting, but we definitely find poaching. Wherever we have protected areas, protected forest lands, you will come across instances of poaching. So game hunting is not permitted, right? But people have been cruel, insensitive, callous towards their other animals, which are also an integral part of our ecosystem. It's not that only human beings are part of the ecosystem. All living beings are the part of ecosystem, but we have been generally indifferent, callous, cruel towards the innocent animals, right? Fifth is, we need a new system in the age of ecology. Ecology, study of relationship between human beings and their environment. Environment means which contains everything. We need a new system for the age of ecology, a system which is embedded in the care of all people and also in the care of the earth and all life upon it, right? We definitely do need that ecological system where there is a fair balance. Balance means all living beings, all living organisms are accorded importance in such a way that it doesn't create any imbalance in the nature, right? The balance must be maintained, and in order to maintain that ecological balance, the protection, preservation of all beings living is necessary, required, right? Now we go to the next chapter, the enemy. We will only discuss question and answer, right? So in the enemy story, there are 8 questions. First is, there are moments in life when we have to make hard choices between our roles as private individuals and as citizens with a sense of national loyalty. Discuss with reference to the story you have just read. So the enemy is a story of a doctor, Dr. Sadao, and his wife Hana. Japanese, they are Japanese, and one US Navy soldier who was prisoner of war has been swept ashore near their house is near an ocean. So in the sea he has been swept, and they find him injured. The US Navy soldier was injured, he was shot, and he was also injured by stones in the ocean. So what is happening when they find him? So they are having they are in a conflict. So they are thinking of 3 alternatives. Doctor and his wife are Japanese, and the prisoner of war who has escaped is injured, has been shot, is swept to near their house in the ocean. So they are thinking of 3 alternatives. First, to hand him over to police, right? Because it is story of World War II, Second World War, and Japan and America were fighting against each other. So they were enemies. They are thinking to hand him over to the police or to treat him, because Sadao is a doctor, main actor in the story. Or third option, to leave him in the sea, in the ocean, right? When they find him near their house, they are having conflict. They are confused what to do. They think they should hand him over to the police because he is an enemy soldier, or as a doctor he should treat him, or they should leave him there itself at the shore, and whatever happens to him, let it happen. But finally, as a doctor, he is a Japanese, he is a doctor, but at the same time he is a human being also. So what happens? Now he gets into conflict with 2 things, human being and doctor. So doctors are trained to ensure that if it is possible, not even a single life should be allowed to be lost. Doctor must make all possible attempts to save every life that he or she can save. So finally, they decide to take him to their home and treat him, right? So what is happening? Though he thinks I am a Japanese, and the soldier that has come to the seashore, swept away, injured, is a US soldier who is an enemy soldier. So he should hand him over to the police. But he also thinks that I am a doctor. I see that he will die if I don't treat him. Then he is thinking of treating him. Then they also think if they treat him, later on they are found by the police. So they will be charged by the police. And their image, their reputation, their family's fortunes will be destroyed. But finally, what happens? Humanity prevails. The sense of humanity in the doctor and his wife prevails, and they take him to their home to treat him, right? Second is, Dr. Sadao was compelled by his duty as a doctor to help the enemy soldier. What made Hannah, his wife, sympathetic to him in the face of open defiance from the domestic staff? When the doctor and his wife, Dr. Sadao and his wife Hannah, took him to their home, when they decided they will do this, then they had in their home certain servants. One was a cook, one was a gardener, others were also there. So, those staff members working in the house were not in favor of that US soldier being kept in the house. They were against that. They wanted that this US soldier, enemy soldier, should be handed over to the police. But Sadao wanted to treat him. Initially, the doctor's wife was also against treating him in the house because she was also worried about her husband's image, reputation, credibility, and they had 2 kids, small children. So she was worried about their future also. But subsequently, when she saw that doctor was helping a human being, then the sense of humanity in Hannah, doctor's wife, also arose, and she also started helping the doctor in saving the life of that US Navy soldier, right? What made Hannah, his wife, sympathetic to him in the face of open defiance from the domestic staff? Domestic staff wanted that US soldier should be handed over to the police. And initially Hannah, the doctor's wife, also thought that he should be handed over to the police. They should not get into this difficulty. But when she saw that her husband was very willing to help that injured soldier, injured human being, so the sense of humanity in Hannah also increased, and she also joined the doctor in saving the life of the US Navy soldier. Third, how would you explain the reluctance of the soldier to leave the shelter of the doctor's home even when he knew he could not stay there without risk to the doctor and himself? So here are 2 things. First is, everybody is driven by the basic instinct of saving his or her life. Means basic instinct of survival. Every living being has got this basic instinct, survival, to survive. Everyone tries to survive first. So that US soldier also is trying to survive, trying to live, save his life. So despite knowing that doctor and his family may come into great difficulties by his being there, he continues to stay there because of one this, and second, there at the doctor's place he feels safe and warm. Doctor has saved his life, right? And he is feeling safe and warm at the house of the doctor. So despite knowing that doctor's family may come into great difficulty due to his presence there, he continues to stay there. Fourth, what explains the attitude of the general in the matter of the enemy soldier? So here we need to know that this Dr. Sadao was not sent with the army to serve them because he was working on an experiment where he could heal the wounds of the soldiers very quickly. Heal the wounds. He was doing some research, some experiment. And one Japanese general was there, army general, who was suffering from some illness. And this Dr. Sadao was treating him, his illness. And general was very satisfied with the treatment of Dr. Sadao. So when later on the doctor explained the fact that one US Navy soldier had landed at his doorstep, and they have kept him into his house and they have treated him, and now he is recovering. So it was expected that the general will be very harsh and he will order the capture of that US Navy soldier. But what happened? The general also showed, not very explicitly, showed sympathetic attitude. And the general says, I have also studied at Princeton. Princeton is a university in the USA. And this doctor also had studied medical and surgery for 8 years in the USA, America. And this general also had studied at Princeton. So there they knew that humanity is also something important, very important. So when he knew that the doctor had helped an enemy soldier, so general also became sympathetic and he didn't order very tough measures against the US Navy soldier. Was it human consideration, lack of national loyalty? It was human consideration. It was not lack of national loyalty. The general was very loyal to his motherland, Japan. Dereliction of duty, no. The general was not indulging in any dereliction of duty. Or simply self-absorption, no. Though the general was not well, he was suffering from some illness, he was not totally self-absorbed. So, the answer to the fourth question will be that the general also felt some humanitarian values in his mind, and by listening to the doctor's story that the doctor had helped that US soldier by taking him into his house and treating him so that he was able to survive, the general also got sympathetic, right? Fifth, while hatred against a member of the enemy race is justifiable, especially during war time, what makes a human being rise above narrow prejudices? While hatred against a member of the enemy race is justifiable, especially during war time, what makes a human being rise above narrow prejudices? See what happens? Everybody is a typical mix of good and evil. Generally people are good at heart, right? So when right kind of environment is provided to them from the beginning, early age, they become better individuals. So when you read this chapter, you will find that father of Dr. Sadao was a very nice gentleman, and he had done lot of sacrifices so that his son could become a good doctor, good surgeon, good scientist, and a good person. Right? His father had made lot of efforts, lot of sacrifices to ensure that his son Sadao became a good doctor, good scientist, and a good person as a person. So the goodness increased, the element of goodness increased in Dr. Sadao, right? So the basic goodness became more in Sadao as per his parents, as per his education. Do you think the doctor's final solution to the problem was the best possible one in the circumstances? Finally, what did the doctor do? The doctor arranged a boat, and he arranged clothes, food, drink, some medicines, and gave it to the US Navy soldier, and silently told him slowly that he should escape. He should escape from that place if he wants to save his life. And in the given circumstances, this was the best possible solution that Dr. Sadao could suggest, that Dr. Sadao could look for. This was the best solution, best possible solution at that particular point of time, given those circumstances. Does the story remind you of Birth by A.J. Cronin that you read in Snapshots last year? What are the similarities? Yes, the story in the snapshot, Birth, is of a doctor who attends one lady who is about to give birth to a child, and that doctor does everything possible that he can do to save the life of that lady and the newborn child. The newborn child was almost lifeless, but the doctor did everything possible that came to his mind and was finally successful in saving the life of the lady also and of the newborn child also. So there are similarities. Here also the Dr. Sadao saves the life of a US Navy soldier, and in that Birth snapshots story, the doctor saves the life of a lady who has given birth to a stillborn child, and he saves the life of that child also. Is there any film you have seen or novel you have read with a similar theme? This eighth I will leave it for you to answer, right? So I hope you will find it easy to understand, and in case of any difficulty you may please approach on my email ID, which will be there at the thumbnail to the video. Thank you very much.